So between streams, it would appear that our coal bin has filled up. We have 51,000 coal. So I think one of the first things that we should do here, chat, is go ahead and make one of these ultimate tier installers. I think we should have everything it takes to make 2 ultimate circuits as well as 4 atomic alloys. Our system should be able to do that fairly easily. I did go and turn the builder back on between streams, so if we do a quick slash back here, at the end of the last stream, we did run into an issue where we found out that our builder, the quarry builder here, is not mining the uraninite ore that we're trying to get. And so what I did is I've used the digital miner to kind of scan this 32 by 32 block radius around the digital miner to get a little bit more of the uranium there, just to make sure that hopefully throughout the course of today's stream, we don't run out of uranium and our reactor doesn't lose power. And unfortunately, until the filter gets fixed here, or the builder gets fixed to be able to mine uranium, then I think we're just going to have to use the digital miner, unfortunately. And that does mean that every so often we're going to have to come over and kind of periodically move it about 64 blocks in either the X or Z direction to make sure we can get more uranium. It's not too bad, but it is a little tedious compared to the RF Tools builder. And the whole reason why we made the RF Tools builder, of course, is because it can cover that massive 512 by 512 block radius. So, do we have what it takes to make this guy? We do indeed. Fantastic. So that should allow us, hopefully, to upgrade this guy. And I believe that can now hold, I think like 200,000? Yeah, 262,000 coal, which we might hit, honestly. Like between streams, we managed to generate 50,000 coal. So, it's probably not going to take too many more streams for us to kind of get up to 200,000, honestly. I think what I'm going to do, chat, is let me request an exporter. I think I'm going to temporarily get rid of the external storage here, replace it with an exporter with like a stack upgrade, and then use that to export all of the coal that is currently in our 64K drive, because otherwise we're not going to be able to use our system because it has just so much coal backed up in it. But before I do that, chat, another thing that I do want to do is I do want to go and mine like a bunch of glowstone out of the nether, and so I'm thinking, if we go and quickly pick up the digital miner, which hopefully by now has mined most of the uranium in this area, it has 44 left to go. But I think we'll start today by moving this into the nether and having it mine just as much glowstone as possible. Because for a few streams now, we've been kind of low on glowstone, and I don't want to keep having to go back and forth to the nether every time we need it, to mine it manually. So basically, chat, here in Ghast Central, I'm just thinking that we'll do something like this. Make sure that's set to output. Take out a couple of speed upgrades because right now we don't have, the thousands of redstone flux that we previously had to run this at max speed. I think we do have just over 1,000 though, so I think we could go up to 5 speed upgrades. That seems fine. And then we'll go ahead and reset this. We'll go to config. We'll remove the filter for uranium for now, and then we'll go new filter, tag, and I think if we just do asterisk and then glowstone, that should hopefully get all of the glowstone potentially in the area, although that does not seem like it's going to work. So I think all we're going to do here, chat, is we're going to go config, new filter, and then material. And if we put in the glowstone there and click save, that should then be able to mine this area for any glowstone, so long as there is some in the 32 block radius around us, although we may have already mined this area actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, let me move this a bit further afield. There we go. How much space do we have? We've got a little bit of space. Let's see if we can't request an exporter. We should be able to now that we have some glowstone. And hopefully it won't take too long. We did fix our machines last stream, so hopefully that's going, a lot faster now. Beautiful. All right, so yeah, my plan here, chat, basically is just to use stack and speed upgrades to move all of the coal that is currently clogging up our system over and into this ultimate bin. So if we get rid of this external storage, put down an exporter, set that exporter to export coal, and then put stack and speed upgrades in there, that should very quickly start to dump all of the coal out of our system and into that cache, or that bin even. And we should see, hopefully, this number go down quite quickly. All right, I think that is good, chat. Our system is still quite full. Like, there must be other... I guess we've got a lot of ore, actually. We've got, like, a ton of osmium and iron that still needs to be processed. And so I do think at some point, we're almost certainly going to have to upgrade our ore processing system, even if that is just to duplicate what we currently have, because right now it's clearly not fast enough. All right, so that should now free up a little bit of space in our refined storage system. We've got like 20,000 bytes worth of space now, which is very nice indeed. And we can hopefully go and re-enable this, although I do think, again, we might very quickly fill up the system just because there are so many ores. Like, we have closing in on 10,000 iron ore that is waiting to be processed. And that does lead me, actually, to one of the first problems that we've run into now, and that is a lack of water. So up until now, all of our water has been coming in through a pump out here. We set up the pump a little while back for our oil system, but we've been using it for basically everything in our base. We have this pump here that's pumping water out of this unlimited water source, sending it through into this dimensional tank, and then we have a couple of other dimensional tanks around the base that are using that water. Now, because we've increased the speed of our electrolytic separator so much, we now actually don't have enough water being pumped out to actually keep up with the demand. Thankfully, you can put both speed and energy upgrades into this pump, and right now I don't think we have any in at all. We don't, and so hopefully, if we fill this guy up with speed and energy upgrades, we should hopefully start to see enough water being made to power all of our machines. So I think we do have the power, by the way, maybe we don't have the power, actually, because right now, this is, the pump here is running off of wind power. It's currently using 4 redstone flux per tick. Okay, so maybe we do have the power to speed this up a bit. And actually, maybe all the way. Yeah, that's still only using 400. That actually is too much. Let's bring it back down a bit. Let's do like 6. That's using 126 redstone flux, which we definitely have. And yeah, as you can see, we've now filled up that tank again, so we should be producing more than enough water. Yeah, that seems to be holding steady, which is good. And that is hopefully going to allow us to process our ores just that bit faster down on the bottom level here, because we should now be full on oxygen again, or slowly but surely filling up on oxygen again. Okay, let me temporarily turn this off. And then if I turn that back on, hopefully we're not producing enough oxygen. Still, really? That is insanity. I mean, we can put another speed upgrade in here. We're at 5. That is going to bump it up to 10,000 redstone flux per tick. Which, again, we do have. And now that is producing enough oxygen to keep this going. And it's not going to use 10,000 constantly because we are going to fill up, I think, at a certain point. Yeah, you can see it's kind of flickering now, closer around like 5,000-6,000. But still, that's a lot of power, chat. That's a lot of power being used. And we are processing these ores quite fast, but just not anywhere near fast enough to keep up with how fast they're coming in. All right. I think what I'm going to do, chat, I think we will come back later on in the stream to potentially doubling this setup here to allow us to more quickly process all of the ores that are coming in from our builder. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to request another 64K storage disk and slot that in there. That should hopefully give us enough storage to hold all of the ores that are coming in. And while, that is happening, I would like to work on hopefully getting our first 2 thermal evaporation towers. So let's bookmark all 3 of these here. And thankfully, these don't seem too difficult. We probably should teach our system how to make these thermal evaporation blocks. They're 4 steel and 1 copper, all of which our system should know how to make. So throwing that into one of our crafters here should be just fine. There we go. I'm not quite sure how long it's going to take for that 64K drive, but I don't think that matters too much. So the idea here, chat, is that, again, if we look at solar panel, and we look at the next tier, which is the Resonant solar panel, to make this, and I will bookmark it, we need to get 2 lithium dust. So for every 4 resonant cores, and you need 1 resonant core per solar panel, you need 2 lithium dust. Lithium dust is made in a chemical crystallizer with lithium, and the lithium is made by decondensating liquid lithium, and liquid lithium is made in the thermal evaporation controller with brine, and brine is made in yet another thermal evaporation controller with water. So we need 2 thermal evaporation towers, 1 to turn water into brine, 1 to turn brine into liquid lithium, and then we can process that liquid lithium into the lithium dust, which we can then use to make our higher tiers of solar panel. Now, these are multi-blocks. Each multi-block, of course, requires 1 thermal evaporation controller, and we also need quite a bit of this thermal evaporation block. So let's request 64 of these. That seems very doable. And we are also going to need at least 4, I think, thermal evaporation valves. These allow you to pump fluids in and take fluids out of the system. So we're going to need 1 to put water into the first tower, and then another 1 to take brine out of the first tower, and then 1 to put brine into the second tower, and then another 1 to take sulfur out of the second tower, right? So we need 2 of these, which again, easy enough. The controller, also easy enough. We do need 2 more of those circuits, which I was hoping we would have, but that's fine. We can go ahead and request those fairly easily. And at that point, chat, I think we're pretty much good to go. These are not really too difficult for us to set up. You do get to choose how big you want to make these, essentially. And I think we'll start small. The hardest part about setting these up is that each one requires 4 advanced solar generators. And these guys are a little bit more expensive. They require some infused alloy, some regular iron, and then 4 solar generators. Each one requires some solar panels, infused alloys, iron, osmium, and energy tablets. They're not actually that bad. How much space do we have here? We don't have much space. I think I am going to teach my system how to make these, just so I don't have to go through and do the craft manually. The 64K drive here is slowly but surely getting the job done. I am also starting to think that silicon is maybe one of those things, much like with our refined iron, our quartz-enriched iron, our red alloy, and our redstone alloy. I'm starting to think we should have silicon being constantly made in the background, and then therefore have it on tap for when we need it. That would really increase the speed of these crafts here. If we just had like a bin that had, 128 or 256 silicon ready to go, and whenever we used it, it then refilled the silicon after the fact, I think that would probably be the best course of action, and I might look at doing that later on in today's stream. But for now, let's request another crafter, like so. And then over here, let's see if we can't teach our system how to make these advanced solar generators. I am going to temporarily cancel the 64K craft, just because this other crafter is not going to get done until the 64K one is finished. Also, we need to request more patterns. It is indeed. There is a bad storm, isn't there? It's so very loud. What in the world? Let me sleep, so we don't get attacked in the on the 3rd night. All right, so those are done. Let's grab all those patterns, and let's also go ahead and once again request that 64K storage drive. While that's doing its thing, let's grab the old crafter, and once again throw it down right next to this guy, so right about there. Should do just fine, and that should give us enough slots to teach our system how to do this. So we'll encode this. We already know how to make iron and infused alloy. We'll do the solar panel, like so, and then from there we need to teach it how to make the other solar panels. Again, our system does know how to make glass panes, I believe. It does indeed. Fantastic. So that should not be a problem either. And then, other than that, I think our system currently doesn't know how to make energy tablets, but that's really not going to be too difficult, chat, I don't think. And actually, we didn't even need the extra crafter. I'm fairly certain we should now be able to request 4 advanced solar panels. We can indeed. Nice. And I really don't think that's going to take too long, honestly. I think the infused alloys are going to be the slowest part there, but really that shouldn't be too bad. It might be worth, chat, us getting some speed upgrades for our exporter, because I think right now that's kind of the slowest part. Because the infusing factory can take, up to 5 iron ingots at a time, but right now it's not putting that many in, like they're coming in too slowly. So if we request, say 2 speed upgrades, and we stick those in the back on the exporter, that should be that should work just fine. Again, of course, it is going to have to wait until the 64K crafting disk is done, which is very almost done actually. And by that point, we might not even need them, but it's good for the future nonetheless. So our 64K drive is done. Let's go ahead and throw that into there. Beautiful. That should hopefully, weather the storm of ores that are coming in, at least for the time being. Those speed upgrades are also done. Let's throw those in on the back of this guy. I'm hoping I can access... I can't access it. I was hoping I could reach the exporter from here, but I don't think that I... Oh, I can, right there. So we'll put those in, like so. Oh, no, we don't want to put those in there. We want to put those in the crafter, chat. In here. Yeah, if we put those in the crafter here, that's going to allow it to put iron in faster. So now if we request some of the infused alloys, like if I requested a stack of them and click start, it's now going to put the iron in a lot faster, thus allowing our system to work at maximum efficiency, which is very nice indeed. But either way, we should now have at least 4 advanced solar panels. We do indeed. We are going to need 4 more because we need 2 lots of them. So I'll request 4 of those. But while we're waiting for that, let's go and set up our first thermal evaporation tower, which is fairly big. So I will set it up outside. And I think, chat, I'm probably going to build it maybe somewhere around the back. I might actually build both of them just at the back of the volcano here. That does mean we are going to have to clear out a little bit of an area of these trees, but that shouldn't be too hard with our old lumberex. So, the way this works is we have a 4x4 base, which I believe looks something a little bit like this. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And I think we do want to have the corners filled in there. So we have like a 4x4 base. And then how high you go with this, I believe is really up to you. The higher you go, like the taller you make these, the more you can make, like the more brine you can make or the more sulfur you can make, etc., etc. For now, I think we'll go pretty small. We'll maybe go like 1 more block up here like this. The controller I'm going to put right there, although I think you can put the controller really anywhere in the multi-block if you'd like. You do want to make sure that the final layer has space at the corners. So let me free up a bit of space actually. So we'll get rid of you and put down one of our thermal valves. Again, I think these can go anywhere in the multi-block. I don't think they specifically have to go on the opposite sides like this. But I'm going to put mine there and there. And then on the top level, we're going to have our controller. I'm going to put it right about... I should turn hover mode on. Apologies for the sounds. And then we're going to put that right about there. And then after that, chat, you want to put the solar panels in the corners. So here, this one's missing some, but here, here, and here. And there we go. The multi-block is formed. You saw the little animation there. Beautiful. So now, when we look inside this, you'll see that the temperature is rising, and the production is currently at 0 millibuckets per tick. But that is something we should be able to rectify. So I think, once again, we will try and tap into the same tank system that we're currently using to provide this with water. For that, we are going to make another dimensional tank, which requires some more dimensional wall and another one of these solid dimensional cores. Thankfully, our system does now know how to make ender cores, so requesting one of those should get that done fairly quickly. And then let's go and get a little bit of that taken care of. And I think at that point, chat, we should be pretty much good to go. We just have to wait for that ender core to finish. And then we're going to basically duplicate this like right next to this one and have all of the brine get pumped from this thermal evaporation valve into the other thermal evaporation tower to turn that brine into sulfur. And at that point, we should basically be good to go. And then we're going to store all of the resultant sulfur in probably a bin that's connected to our system, right? So let's get a core and then a solid core. And at that point, we're just missing glass. Thankfully, our sand from the old Material Stoneworks factory has been coming in quite nicely between streams. We now have 10,000 sand, so we're no longer really an issue, which is nice. And there we go. Dimensional tank. Nice. So over here, we'll again put that down, make sure it is set to frequency 1 and GamingOnCaffeine, and then we'll set the bottom here to auto-eject. At that point, it should begin auto-ejecting water into the tower. That water is then being automatically turned over and into brine. So it looks like we're not pumping water in fast enough to kind of overload it. And right now it's going in and being turned straight into brine, which is fine. Again, I don't know just yet, like if we're going to have to make this taller or not. We might, but we also might not. So let's go make this exact same thing again, chat. So that should be another thermal evaporation tower. Nice. Right next to the pre-existing one. And then from there, I assume that we can just use a mechanical pipe here to move the brine directly through. Of course, we are going to have to grab our configurator, set that to fluids, and then set that to extract. There we go. The brine's going to move right through. And there we go. That's being turned into liquid lithium. Nice. So it is currently going a lot slower. I think that's because it's night, though. Yeah, you can see the number here is going down quite fast. These, of course, run off of solar energy, and so they do require sunlight in order to operate. I also do believe, chat, that they work more effectively in hotter biomes. So, for example, if we'd have built those in a desert, I believe that just by default they produce, they can convert more millibuckets per tick than they can in whatever biome we're in. But again, I think we should be hopefully getting more than enough lithium. Let's take a quick peek, see if that's going... Oh yeah, that's quite the sound, eh? Yeah, the lithium is coming in pretty quick now. You can see the number here is going up nice and fast again. It does look like if we wanted to, we could pump even more water into this. I'm actually not quite sure how many millibuckets per tick this outputs when you turn auto-eject on. But if it becomes an issue, like if we need more lithium being made and we think that the bottleneck is water, we could always make another pump and have it just dedicated to pumping water into this thermal evaporation tower. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how much we actually get from this. So we now want to take that liquid lithium. We have to first run it through a decondensator, because right now it's in liquid form and we need it in non-liquid form. It might be gas form, I'm not too sure, but we need to turn it from a liquid into not being a liquid. And that's a 1-to-1 conversion. And then from there, 100 millibuckets equals 1 lithium dust. How much lithium dust do we need? Is a good question. We need 38 lithium dust, so we actually only need 3,800 millibuckets of lithium dust, and we already have 3,800 millibuckets of lithium dust, so I think we're actually perfectly fine, chat. Like, that is actually all that is required to get all of the lithium dust required for the solar panel. And I think you might be able to tap into the power being generated by these solar generators. Let's have a look. So if I want to make a decondensator, which I think is not what it's called. Hold up. It's the rotary condensator set to decondensating mode. So rotary condensator. Do we have what it takes to make one of these? We very much so do. Again, we'll request... I'm sure I requested a stack of alloys earlier, but I guess we used them all making more solar panels. None of this stuff is too difficult for us to make. There we go. Good stuff. And basically, we can probably put this like right here. Make sure the left there is set to... we might have to put it the other way around, actually. Like that. Or maybe not. Maybe the, actually, you know what? I guess the evaporation tower won't auto-eject. So all we have to do is throw down a pipe, put down the old condensator, which I guess maybe goes down the other way around. There we go. Again, make sure that is set to fluids. And extract. And make sure this is set to, there we go, to decondensating down here. And at that point, we might even, chat, be able to just tap in to those solar panels on the roof. Like if I do this extremely janky setup like that, that does totally work. That's going to start turning our lithium from liquid lithium over into regular lithium. And then from there, chat, all we have to do is run it through a chemical crystallizer. And we're good to go. The chemical crystallizer, a little bit more expensive, does require 2 atomic alloys, but again, nothing our system can't handle. Other than that, we need 2 gas tanks, easy enough, and a steel machine casing, which again, I really thought I taught my system how to make, but I guess not. I really should teach my system how to make that when we head back in. Not that it's a particularly difficult craft, but just one that our system probably should know how to make. But there we go. Chemical crystallizer is done. And again, I'm fairly certain we can just do something like this. And that's going to start turning that lithium directly into the lithium dust that we are after. If we throw down that guy, that's going to hopefully provide maybe enough power. But if it's not, that's fine. We can make this even jankier by doing something like that. And at that point, hopefully we're getting somewhere. We are indeed. We could always upgrade these if we needed to. But right now, the solar panels are only producing like 100 RF per tick each. So we're nowhere near the 1,000 that would require an upgrade here. But yeah, that's working. We're getting lithium dust. We can, of course, if we want to, throw some speed upgrades into these guys. Right now, this guy is using 160, and this guy's using 20. 280. Let's start with the energy upgrades, chat. We'll do those first, and then that'll kind of give us an idea of how many speed upgrades we can afford to put in. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So now we're down to 28 RF per tick, so we can put in a few more speed upgrades here, take that back up to 160 again. The power is going up slowly but surely there. albeit rather slowly but surely. And of course, this is only going to run at night, like the solar panels are only going to output power at night, but at the same time, the thermal evaporation towers also only work, the solar panels are only going to output power during the day, they're going to stop at night, so, but that's fine because the thermal evaporation towers also only work during the day, and they are also going to stop at night. I guess there's also no reason, chat, really not to request, first of all, like a ton of speed upgrades, but also, and energy upgrades. We can also speed up the rotary condensator as well. It's not using much power, but, and it's not the bottleneck at the moment, but we might as well speed it up. I guess the final part of this chat is to connect this to the system. I think what we might do is we might go ahead and, first of all, request a bin. And again, we're not going to need a super big bin for this because we're not going to be really getting that much of the old lithium here. But we'll set the auto-ejector on. That's going to export the lithium. And then I think, chat, all we're going to do is we'll request an external storage, and I might just run some cabling underground, like under the grass here, back into the base. And that should work just fine. Yeah, that'll be A-okay. There we go. The energy upgrades are coming in thick and fast now, so we'll make sure both these are fully full up. They are indeed. This guy's still going a little low on power, but that's fine. I do wonder if you can actually rotate these solar panels. Let me try that real quick. If I do... Oh, no, that's not what I want to do. If I do this... Oh, that does still work. So you can... They don't have to be facing a certain way. You can turn them around to allow you to use them for power as well. And that is slowly but surely gaining redstone flux despite using 160 there. Nice. This one's this one's a little wobbly. But again, that's fine. It's making lithium more than fast enough. And so, as I said, I'll just throw down an external storage right about there, and then we'll see about running that cable under the ground into our volcano. Which I don't think is going to be too bad, actually. I think we have some other machines fairly close by. Yeah. There we go. Nice. All right. So at that point, chat, we can head back and we should be able to teach our system how to make the next tier of solar panel, at which point we'll go ahead and request our first one. It is still going to require quite a bit of crafting because it's going to have to make all of the previous tiers again, but that shouldn't be too bad. So I think our system already knows the recipe, or we should maybe already have the recipe for the next tier of solar panels saved. We do indeed. Resonant solar panel is right there. So we'll throw that once again back into one of our crafters here. And then over here, the only things now that we're missing are Enderium, I think. So we'll go ahead and teach our system how to make that. Boom. There we go. Let's swap those out for ingots. So lead and platinum and encode. And at that point, we should basically be good to go, I think. Let's see. If I go to request a resonant solar panel. Oh, it actually needs to know how to make the solar cores. That is fine. Encode. And of course, we'll throw that into the new crafter right there. And I think we're not going to have enough ender pearls, maybe. Oh, no, we totally do. Look at that. It's quite a long craft there, chat. It does need to craft 4,096 leadstone solar cells. But that's really not too bad. So I think what I will also do here, actually, chat, is someone did recommend teaching our system how to craft sugarcane into sugar, which I think is very sensible in code. And I think before we request that craft, it might not be a terrible idea to request like a bunch of speed upgrades. Or just a little short on the quartz-rich iron, eh? That's fine. Yeah, if we request some speed upgrades, we can then begin speeding up some of these crafters here. Like especially the one that has to make 4,096 leadstone solar cells, or leadstone solar panels. That one being faster, I think, is going to help out tremendously. All right, let's speed up some of these, especially the ones that we're going to be using quite a bit of. Like this one could probably do with some. Like we're going to be making a lot of these lower tiers of solar panels. This one could definitely do with some, because we're going to be making a lot of these solar panels and a lot of those nuggets. And then this one could also do with a few as well, actually, I guess. This guy, yeah, we'll put, we've got quite a few here, so we can put a few in these other guys as well. This one could maybe be a bit faster. This one doesn't really need much. I'll put one in here just to make this a little quicker. And then we'll put like 1 or 2 in here as well. Well, you will fill up a few of these to make sure they have 2 in, if nothing else. But yeah, that seems good. So hopefully now, chat, when we go to request this solar panel, hopefully it won't take a crazy long time. Start. Yeah, you can see it's crafting through those leadstone solar cores now nice and fast. And also through the nuggets as well, nice and quick as well. The slow points, of course, are going to be the Enderium, which shouldn't be that slow, really. And the Ender Core, which also hopefully is not going to be too slow. We do have 3 energizing rods now at the Spirited tier. So hopefully that's not too bad. I'm just wondering, I'm trying to like diagnose what we could make faster. I think we could maybe put some speed upgrades into crafters. Like this one back here. To make the export the sand a bit quicker. Yeah, we could upgrade this, actually. If we wanted to, we could make a an elite installer. And then after that, potentially an ultimate installer as well. To make it even better. But yeah, there we go. So now we can smelt 7 items at a time. And we can probably take that one step further. I think I might actually, chat, by the way, teach our system how to make these installer upgrades. Because we've been using them quite a bit recently. Also, I don't know if our system knows how to make planks yet. It doesn't. Let me teach it how to make spruce planks. We'll throw that into our crafter. And then let's also teach it how to make the elite and the ultimate installer. Because it already knows how to make the atomic alloys and the ultimate alloys and all of the circuits, you know, all the way down. So just putting those in should allow us to then just request the installers as opposed to having to craft them manually, which will be real nice. All right, are you ready, chat? Right now this can smelt, oh, I guess we're pretty much done on sand, but right now it can smelt 7 items at a time. If we shift right click the installer on here, we can now smelt 9 items at a time. So we now have an electric furnace that can smelt 9 items at a time. So if we throw this sand in, it's going to distribute that, and it's just going to do so much smelting. Oh, I love it. I love it. All right, how is that solar panel coming along? It's getting there, chat. It's getting there. Still got 4,000 leadstone solar panels to make, which is a little something. And there's also quite a bit of steel still to be made, which I guess is why... Yeah, let's upgrade that as well. Let's request 2 more installers. I think we can really upgrade most of our machines here. Like right now, this is kind of bottlenecking us. It also seems like we should probably import faster if we can. Because we're currently not pulling this steel dust out. Let me... this one's for iron, right? Oh, it's carbon. So we'll call this one carbon. That's the one right there. It is set to... it does have stack mode on. We could upgrade it to an advanced connector, which I think allows us to extract even faster than once every 10 ticks. Because right now it's not super quick. If you have speed upgrades in the crafters, do they use more power? Do the crafters even use power? I don't remember. I think so, yeah. So, like, they don't, like, it individually doesn't show it, but if you right-click on the controller, you can see right now our whole system is using 659 redstone flux per tick. I'm actually not sure if speeding up a crafter makes it use more power. 659. 661, it does, yeah. So only 2 redstone flux, but it does make it a little bit more expensive on the power cost. Yeah, it's always grabbing the stacks from the left. Yeah, like it's pulling these ones in, and it's not pulling these fast enough. Let me see, if I were to upgrade that to an advanced connector. Let me just check real quick what I've got set on that. I think it's just insert power extracts items. Yeah. So if we get rid of this, and we put down the advanced version, I believe, and we'll call it carbon again, that should allow us to pull out even quicker. So again, we'll set insert on energy, and then extract stack 5. So now it's doing it twice as fast. There we go. It's still not quite getting there. Like, it's going twice as fast. So previously it was only pulling these 2. Now it's pulling the first 4. I do wonder if I take this stack out. Still not going to work, eh? That is unfortunate. Let me cancel and re-request that solar panel there, because otherwise that's not going to work now. I do wonder if we could put like another connector on it. I don't know if that actually works. I've not tried that yet, but it's quite possible that if we just do this, and then we'll rename this one to something else. We'll call this like carbon 2. Can I do that? Does that work? There's carbon 2. If I set that to extract as well, extract stack 10. No, that's also, I guess, pulling from the same slots. Oh, the machine has to be set up to extract from the front. That is true. Oh, you are very true. Thank you, chat. Yeah, I completely forgot. Yes, let me re-engage that. So extract, stack, and then we don't need to insert power. That's fine. Yes, I need to make sure that the item is able to output on the front. There we go. So that does work, having 2 connectors on it. It doesn't look great, I'm not gonna lie, but it looks like it is getting the job done. And then now the real question, chat, is if we go ahead and upgrade it. So if we make it right now, it can do 5 steel at a time. If we make it so it can do 7 and then 9. We might have to make like yet another upgraded connector to be able to get close to being able to make that work. And now we're back to, I think, the crafter being the slow point. So now if we put the speed upgrade in there. Yeah, there we go. All right, now we're making steel, chat. Now we're making steel at an alarming rate. Change the extract mode from first to round robin. Is that a thing? Oh yeah, it is. Look at that. So which ones, did I rename this to carbon again? I did. So if I type in carbon here, I was kind of hoping that would show me, but alas, it did not. Okay, which one is carbon? It's this guy. So if we set the extract to, so there's order first. I assume R&D means round robin? Yeah. So if we put round robin on, it means it's going to, instead of taking from the first slot, it's going to take from the first slot, then the second, then the third, then the fourth, then the fifth. Yeah, that looks to be working a lot better. It still doesn't seem fast enough. I mean, this is as fast as it can go. I believe we have max speed upgrades in, and we're at the ultimate tier. So, like, at a certain point, we've just requested, like, a ton of steel. Like, the fact that we needed, you know, thousands of steel, or, like, maybe over 1,000 steel. I think this is as fast as we can go without upgrading further. Actually, the problem now becomes exporting the carbon, because this also requires coal. If we look at the back here, we have an exporter right there, exporting enriched carbon. I think we need a speed upgrade on that. So let's request like another 10 speed upgrades if we can. That might involve us having to speed up the advanced enriching factory over here, which is what turns our coal into enriched carbon. But yeah, you'll see right now it's stopping between each craft. But that should be fixable. If we just stick some speed upgrades in here, that should hopefully start exporting carbon faster, or at least requesting the carbon faster. And we probably want speed upgrades in here as well. We should make a stack upgrade. Because right now it has... Do we have what it takes? We don't. Let me go grab one of those speed upgrades out of here. I don't think these are strictly necessary. Back over here, if we make some more sugar, and then make a stack upgrade. Right now, essentially what we're doing is we're telling the exporter here to put 1 enriched carbon in at a time. We're telling it to craft it if we don't have it, and then export it. If we put a stack upgrade in, we're telling it to put 64 enriched carbon in at a time, at which point, yeah, we should see a lot more coal over here. Right now, we don't have auto sort on this, which I think for now we can turn on. Yeah, the problem, actually we can't. The problem with auto sort is that it doesn't work for the HDPE pellets. So maybe we should make a different enriching factory just for the HDPE pellets, because right now it's slow. But hopefully that's going faster again. Yeah, that seems to be pretty much done now. Oh, it is. Chat, we've done it. We have a resonant solar panel. The craft is complete. Look at that. 4,096 redstone flux per tick is what this guy generates, which is pretty crazy. Considering that the reactor down here that we have produces 20,000, and this guy produces a quarter of that and requires no upkeep. That's pretty nice.